Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM22 One Club story from Hemel Hempstead Town with me, Daniel. It's part 137 of the Tudor Times today, and we're back in a little bit of a pickle. We've recovered in one competition, but as you can see in front of me now, the Premier League table is not looking great. We're falling away, we're having so many inconsistencies and disappointment. And there's odd games where we just cannot score. We need a striker to find form desperately. We need to get people tied down to contracts, or this next 6 to 12 months could be the hardest we've had since probably we were in League 2. So if you're looking forward to seeing how we get on today as we head to Southampton directly below us in the Premier League and host Real Madrid in a decisive Champions League match, then please do put a thumbs up on the video, subscribe down below for daily FM22 content. You can find all the key links in the eye above, including the new top 3 playlist. Thank you for your incredible support with that. The Twitch channel, the football podcast and merchandise store too. And you can also support the show as a channel member by clicking the join button down below. But today is Frank Lampard's Southampton, a managerial change, a slow start, but they're really right back in the fight for those Champions League places now. And we risk at the end of this episode being outside the top 6. Can't remember the last time we said that. So let's go and have a look at the chaos on and off the pitch since you were last with me, because it's bad news galore. Carlos Martin is still out with his long-term injury, and we've just had some really weird games. Some we've deserved to win and been beaten, and some that are vice versa. So if we have a look at the schedule since you were last with me, let's start with on-the-pitch fiascos. You were here for 2 pretty encouraging results against City and Porto, but I think you'll agree we didn't play that well. And against Watford, ironically, we played a lot better. I'm going to have to show you the stats for this game. Mailton sent off early in the second half. Ultimately, it cost us. We got a little greedy towards the end and still chased the game. And in the 90th minute, we threw it away. But let me show you the stats because they're hilarious. Watford's 90th minute goal was their only shot, not shot on target, their only shot of the game, despite playing 40 minutes against 10 men. We were the better side. We had 9 corners to 1. We had 3 shots on target, 11 shots overall. We weren't vintage, but we were okay. But Mailton really let the side down, and what would have been at least a draw became another defeat. We bounced back with a 1-0 Carabao Cup win against Bournemouth. Stanley Azoma in with a goal for that one. A 1-0 win against Tottenham, who obviously were the runaway leaders at the start of the season. We've stopped their momentum with a Dominic Chauvin goal. This one, pretty much the polar opposite, if I'm being honest. I know the stats have become level at the end. At the time we scored, it was our first shot on target, and Tottenham had 9 shots in the first half, so we can't really take much credit. They scored a late goal which was just offside, and if we think we're going to be able to achieve much just because of that result, then I think we're in for a bit of a shock later in the year. We did bounce back again against Porto though. Carlos Torres with an early goal before Mailton and Coronel late on. But then before the international break at home to Leicester, and I know they've had a great start to the season, but we just got absolutely battered. We could not contain them. The first 10 minutes, they had 7-8 shots, similar to the Spurs game prior. And it was a bit of a concern because we've had a lot of disappointments in the league this year. You can see we even the shots up towards the end, again lacking that cutting edge. But before that, we hadn't lost a home game. The draw at home to Chelsea on the opening day was the only drop points at home. And that was a real wake-up call because we got battered and we got beaten well in that first half. In the end, we were fortunate. We chased it late on. They soaked up a little bit of pressure, but we never looked like getting something out of the match. And with, I guess, 3 away games in a row coming at the start of next month, the problem now is we just cannot afford to lose our home form too. Real Madrid is going to be a difficult test. If we look at the Champions League table too, it's all very tight up there. Us and Real Madrid on 9. Of course, Porto will be playing Karabakh. They should move on to 9 points as well. And that's the only solace we've got. I would fancy us, even in poor form, to win away at Karabakh. If we do that, we're on 12. And then it should be us and one of Real Madrid or Porto. What we really need is them two to draw on the final day. Because then regardless of tonight, if we beat Karabakh, we will be top of the group. We've drawn Burnley in the Carabao Cup quarter-final. It's a pretty good draw there because Southampton are similar to us albeit, but City and Liverpool face each other. And the winner of the Preston-Leeds tie, I'd really fancy us to beat. So we are in a position where we can maybe chase a trophy there. But the 2 games we've played so far have been unconvincing 1-0 wins, it's got to be said. So we're not in the best shape. We've not found that form, that cohesion. We've not really put together 3 or 4 great performances at any stage this year. And it's sort of become the exact season we expected early on in the summer. I'm hoping that will change as the year goes on. I'm hoping we can start to find some answers, but some of them just not coming as readily as we'd like. First things first, Vit Srubeck, who we signed in the summer. Now, I really don't understand this. I applied for his work permit again in the international break. It was rejected again for not playing 70% of the games for his country in the last 2 years. Now, I have manually gone back and gone through every single Czech Republic game for the last 2 years, calendar years, up until that application. He'd missed 1. So I don't understand how when he's played at least 95%, they're saying he's not played 70. And my God, do we need him? He's scoring 1 in 2 for the Czech Republic, and we need a 1 in 2 striker at the minute. We just can't get it done, and it's so frustrating. The answer's at the club, and we can't even get him signed on to play. On other news, we've got loads of players out of contract in 18 months. We took the gamble of waiting for the new stadium, and since then, a lot haven't been willing to sign one. What I'm hoping is that Carlos Torres has come to us with what I would say are pretty reasonable demands given the circumstances. 110 grand a week. If he signs, if Harrison signs, will we then start to see Moreira or Coronel or maybe Tyrese Ricketts say, yeah, actually, I'll sign a new deal with you? Because at the moment, if we start to lose all of them in one summer, we're going to be in big, big trouble next season. Add to that Jack Hanifan has just completely lost the plot out of nowhere. He's become backup centre-half, and my God, he's not happy with it. But he's not playing well enough when he comes into the team, and against Leicester, he was absolutely woeful. So lots of problems on and off the pitch. And what we said, you'll remember, when we made the sort of controversial plan in the summer to give up this year a little bit in terms of a title push, is that if we can just settle in the top 4, then great. We are not looking certain to do that at the moment, and this next few months is going to be crucial. We need to get people tied down, get them in form. Hopefully the new contracts can do that, because Torres, to be fair to him, has been the best of the bunch this year. So let's go and get into the first game today. We're away at Southampton in the Premier League. Falling out of the top 6 if we lose it would be a massive, devastating blow. But let's hope now, coming back from an international break, finally on a Saturday rather than a Friday night, we might have that little bit of an edge to do slightly better. Let's see how many are fit and how many aren't as we go to a virtually sold out St Mary's. We are missing Zaruk, who never comes back fit. On the bench, Coronel's not great, Azoma's not great, De Vita struggling too, and Striker had a little injury in the week, but every outfield player that's fit is in the squad. In terms of the starting 11 though, only really Moreira and Hanifan with heavy match loads. Chauvin we could have swapped out for Jose, but I'll rather do that in midweek. The team itself though is relatively strong, and it's just about who turns up on the day. We've got to bounce back from the Leicester game, and the side that we have picked to do that is John Moore in goal, Delgado and Chauvin the fullbacks, with Hanifan, the unhappy man, alongside Jura as centre-half, and Drecker, most improved player in training, and now the best holding midfielder at the club. Absolute star at the base of that diamond. He is going to be properly world class. He's alongside Arlan, Moreira and Mailton, who's back from his stupid 3-game ban for a ridiculous challenge against Watford. And then Torres and Ricketts up front. We need goals. Tyrese Ricketts, he keeps scoring the odd one, but then not kicking on. Goes 4 games without a goal, as he has again now. And he should be scoring regularly. He's got great attributes. We need him to step up. Torres is doing so. We've got quality on the bench, but this needs to become consistently good, and we are worlds away from achieving that. Let's go and get into the first game today. Please, just don't let it be another defeat. 2 changes made for Southampton. Frank Lampard's side still got quality in it, and of course Arthur Ndu is coming up against his former club. Liam Delap a real player, as is Alfie Devine, Tino Livramento, Roman Meyer still in the world's top 20 players, and Jason Cross, someone we tried to sign a few years back. But of course the story is Arthur Ndu v Hemel. We all know who's going to score Southampton's first goal. But let's just see if we can get the win regardless and bounce back, because we've got more clean sheets than any previous season at this point. But the games we go bad, and we haven't got the goal scorer to save us, as Chauvin's got a free kick just inside the opposition half. Through to Torres. Great finish. Slight glitch on the highlight, not sure why. But what a moment. VAR will check it. There's no way that's getting disallowed. Great finish, goal awarded. Torres, you absolute star. Back with a quarter of the game gone, on the right hand side with Dominic Chauvin, keeping the ball well, and this is looking a far more composed performance so far. Arlan back to Andreka, finds Jura. I'm hoping defensively maybe Andreka can give us that little bit of solidity, but still we need the answer going forward. My answer is I hope that Torres signs a new deal and scores even more, that maybe Ricketts can step up, because Azoma, it's been a little bit too much too soon for him, and he's doing better in the cups. As Hanifan finds Delgado, up to Ricketts, going alone there, through ball to Mailton, back from suspension in style. He's got a lot of making up to do after that stupid red card. Did really well in a Champions League game he played, and there he's put away that one well. Definitely onside, goal awarded again. 23 gone and we're 2-0 up as Southampton playing out from the kickoff. Are they going to get one back straight away, or are they going to collapse and allow us in? Because if we can get 3 or 4 and really start to run away, be a much better sign. No, Sousa straight in at the other end, hits the inside of the post. Thankfully the flag is up for offside, because that defence just collapsed there. Hanifan, it's not the right time to throw his toys out the pram, and maybe we're a victim of using him to avoid other people's unhappiness, because when we spoke to him, he said, I'm not going to be another player you've let down, you've made so many people unhappy, and he's been the victim of that because he's the one who solved our problems. The Moreira's in this time, it's a great save from October. Every time we play them, he seems to be great in goal, but we've got a corner kick and still a chance to make it 3. The corner will be taken by Mailton. To the back post, Jura's up. Header straight into the keeper's arms. It's been a really good performance, the best in ages. And at half time, I think we're going to have a comfortable lead. Other results, not really going our way. Maybe Liverpool losing up Norwich is one, but otherwise, they're all doing pretty well. Dominant performance, really good results so far. Let's keep that ruthless edge up in the second half and hopefully get Tyrese Ricketts a goal too. And in fairness, as we approach the last 20 minutes, it's been a dull, tedious second half, but I don't care, we're going to win. I didn't notice that Leicester were behind at home as well. If Leicester and Liverpool lose against sides outside the top 6, this is a good day for us. We have, though, got a few concerns with fatigue. So, German Moreira will be off for Stamatis or Coronel. Let's go Coronel, the experienced one today. And in fact, I'll do Arlan for Stamatis as well. We're also going to take off Chauvin at right back. Usual change. Danilo Jose on for him. 20 to go, 2-0 up. We've not shown anything going forward in this second half, but if we can get the win, that's all that really matters. As to be fair, Southampton have now had more shots than us. Leicester 3-0 down at home to West Ham. They're having the same problem we usually have after an international break. This time our problems were before, they were caused by them. As Myers down the right, the Southampton skipper, wonderful player, so surprised he stayed here so long. As it's back to Arthur Ndu, the former man, finds header. I wouldn't be surprised if he still scores and do. Livramento in though. They've got a chance here. Oh, that's a bad miss. How on earth did that not go in? We've been shocking in his second half. But we're going to cling on for what is still a deserved win overall. As Stamatis picks the ball up from a corner headed away. On the left-hand side, he's got pressure on him. Has to find his own man and does in Hanifan. To Danilo Jose and Mailton. Space to go into. Goes wide to Jose again. 4 in the box if he can deliver. One of them's Ricketts. Fouled surely, doesn't matter. Referee played a stunning advantage. I take back my earlier criticism. And Torres puts it in for his second of the day. Ricketts can't quite find his goal at the moment, but Torres is in scintillating form. A 3-0 victory away at Southampton. A really good performance in the first half. And a comfortable win. Something we haven't had for a while. Now can we back it up at home to Real Madrid? Well, it's fitness test time ahead of the Real Madrid game, as Torres has agreed a new contract. We're waiting the work permit. Harrison agreed a new contract too, so some signs that we're going to keep some people here. However, we're going to have to take gambles tonight. If we beat Karabag, we know we're through. And we're only 3 days after that Southampton match. After an international break, not everyone's going to be fit. We've got midweek Premier League games to manage next week. This is a difficult spell for us with a smaller squad. I'm already regretting it now, but I don't really know how to react to this. So let's see who's fit, who we're going to be able to start tonight. I'd imagine this is going to be a much changed team. Well, our depth or lack of is perfectly explained by a goalkeeper and 3 strikers on the bench. But overall, it's just a battle against fitness. Dura, nowhere near. Chauvin, Delgado, Moreira all need a rest. In a starting 11, Coronel and Hannafan still have heavy match loads, but it's as strong as I think we can be. My worry, as it was in the last league game against Leicester off camera, is that we've got problems at fullback. Jose and Peebles aren't quite good enough, particularly Peebles on that left-hand side, and losing out on that man to Real Madrid earlier in the summer, now becoming a real problem for us. John Moore still in goal though, Zaruk back in alongside Hannafan as centre-half, De Vitter in a holding role, Coronel in the middle, Arlan and Mailton keep their places, and I'm resting Carlos Torres. He's alright, but I don't want to risk him being injured. He's one of the ones I'm going to need to play all 3 games in the next week in the league. He's the only goal scorer. The new contract tomorrow should buoy him. So today it's Azoma and Ricketts. Someone has got to find some form. Let's go and get into it. We're hosting the Galacticos, and this is maybe the biggest game on paper we've hosted at the new Hemel Hempstead Stadium. And Real Madrid rubbing salt in the wounds. The only original is Camavinga in the middle, but they have brought Felix Barth in to the starting lineup at left back. The man who would have been our left back today had all gone to plan. They've also got Jan Ulrich on the bench, the centre half we tried to sign in the summer, and Kieran Prosser, another defender, a Welshman we were linked with by the scouts. But it's a very strong Real Madrid team. They beat us in the reverse fixture. Anything out of today's game and we're there. The truth is though, we should beat Qarabag, so this is a little bit of a free hit. Let's get through the tunnel interview and go and enjoy it. Hopefully the fans can get us over the line. Contender, Fanu, worst first half of the season, no highlights, 1 shot on target each. Absolutely horrific game of football. Let's go and talk to the lads. Let's be honest, again, it's not vintage. We just cannot put together those displays that we showed so often in the last 3 or 4 seasons. I don't know what it is this season. Most of the players are the same, but they just cannot find form. As it is, we're still getting the result we need, and that is all that matters ultimately. But it's another game where Mailton's non-existent. Even when we've tried to be on a positive mentality, it hasn't worked. All that's happened is we've then conceded more goals. So I'm really at a crossroads as to what to do here. What I am going to do for this one is bring off Mailton for Stamatis. I'm going to go to a 4-1-3-2. Just make us a little bit flatter across the middle. I'm not even sure which the best is to go for here. Stamatis can be a Mazzala. We know that for sure. We'll keep Coronel advanced playmaker, Arlan box to box. We're also going to take off Tyrese Ricketts. He'll be replaced by Danny Harrison. Torres, keep him rested on the bench for now. And then what we're going to do at the back, and I know it's a risk, is bring on Case Striker for Jack Hannafan. He's been struggling a little bit with his mentality recently, and I actually think Striker here could be the better option. So with a quarter of the game to go, it is 0-0 here. Enough to get through, but not convincingly. As Porto lead Qarabag, we have to get the point, and I hope that we're able to maintain it. 10 minutes to go. I can only apologise. We're going to find a game, I think, with no highlight. 4 shots on target between 2 teams. I'm almost embarrassed, though we've got a late corner. At least we've seen something. Coronel puts it in, headed away as far as Stamatis, and he picks it up on the left-hand side. It is the worst game we've seen, isn't it? As he gives it away, Zaruk can't get there, and now there's a counter on. Don't do it late again, please. Michael down the right into Manuzzi. He's going to score. Oh, this is an infuriating season. I cannot understand what has changed. Yes, a couple of experienced players have gone. We know that we were going to miss Ricker. But we've completely lost our goal threat. And while that doesn't mean that you're going to score as many goals, I know that. We're not even creating the chances now. Mailton was sublime for over a year. He's just dropped off a cliff. Some of the defensive players are gone. I am really at a loss to explain this. I've tried positive mentalities. I've tried to be more aggressive, and it just ruins our defence. It's an infuriating 1-0 defeat. Yes, we've rested a few. Yes, we'll still beat Qarabag and get through, you'd imagine. But that is not how it should have ended. A frustrating night. We just cannot put together back-to-back performances or results. And ultimately that is going to cost us, definitely in the Champions League, but maybe even in the race for the top 4 too. Thankfully we've got the better head-to-head over Porto, so as long as we beat Qarabag, it's job done. But that was a pretty devastating game to watch because we had no intent, and that is something you can't often accuse our side of. Let's go and have a look at the schedule for when we're next going to be back, because I don't know what the answer is at the moment, and for once, you're going to get to see me suffer this season. Well, something good has come out of today. Hannafan has dropped his concern about playing time. We've immediately offered him a new deal. I feel if we get him back on side, we sort a lot of the morale problems and maybe the inconsistency out with it. We come unstuck. Harrison's in another goal drought. It's all going wrong. Zaruk, he's just not fit. And I don't know what it is. He's another one that falls into this same trap as Dominic Chauvin. He's got great natural fitness, great stamina, but can't play 2 games in a week. And he's a centre-half, for goodness sake. I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's the international duty, but still, you'd expect more than that. The only solace I'm keeping at the moment is that Rick is unhappy at Bayern, and don't be surprised if I go back in for him. If we can get him for less than we sold him for, then I might well be in for it at the moment. Let's go and have a look at the schedule though to see when we're next going to be back. I'm going to try and get through all of December, but it finishes with a horrible run. Liverpool, Everton, then City and United at the start of the new year. And I think they're the 2 games we're going to be back for. The first in a January transfer window, maybe a little bit of news to come with that. And we're also going to try and get some off-the-pitch improvements too, which we'll discuss in a lot of detail. We'll have a youth intake preview. It should be pretty action-packed. But if you did enjoy this episode, another bit of an encouraging sign, followed by more ultimate frustration, then please do put a thumbs up on it and subscribe down below for daily FM22 content. Of course, it is a frustrating season, but you can't have them all your own way, and in a sense, it is nice that we're struggling now. But did our best chance to win the Premier League title fall away with last season's end-of-year collapse? You can find links in the eye above to the new top 3 playlist and the latest updates from our other save too. There's also links to the Twitch channel, football podcast and merchandise store too. A massive thank you for watching, your support as always. The top 3 playlist is above my head now, and I'll see you again here next time as we move into January with Hemel Hempstead Town. And we need a reaction. We need some consistency fast.